but everything seems to be working just good. Hello, hello, and welcome! Oh my gosh, so today the plan is to continue working on these little Jinx props. I'm super, super excited. Guess what? I found the silver paint. I knew I had this silver paint. So I thought it was all out, and I went to go purchase some more. Found in my purchase history that I had already bought some, and I'm like, I knew it! I knew it! And I ended up digging around and I found it. So I didn't have to buy anything. But anywho, so we will get back to the metallic later. I have these two halves to still paint gray, so gonna jump right into there. Going to move, where can I move these aside? These aside here. I'm gonna move this forward. Hey, it's Evo Leia! Hi, Evo Leia! How you doing? So I'm gonna mix some of the gray, which is gonna be a little bit of the ivory black. And I'm going to use also a little bit of titanium white, but I actually was getting to the bottom of one of my other tubes, and what I do with the leftovers is I put it in these little baby food jars, so no paint ever goes to waste. Because there becomes a point in time on the bottom of the tubes where you can't get any more paint out. But if you cut open the paint bottles, there's like a ton of paint. See, there's like a ton of paint that was left over, and I'm like, this is good paint. I can't let this go to waste. Heck no. Oh yeah, it's starting to peel the old stuff. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of that there. And I will say though, if you choose to do this method of the baby food jars, the acrylic paint doesn't last forever in here. It's probably good for about a week. So definitely try to use it once you like cut it out of the tube. Like try to use it within the week. So I know I will do so because I have all these props to paint. Hey, it's Win. Hi, Win. How you doing? Aw, I'm glad you're doing good, Evalea. Needing some snuggles. Aw. Well, I know. We all need hugs and cuddles. We all do. Hey! Hi, Win. How you doing? Aw. I'm glad you like seeing the progress, Evalea. I'm happy that you do. With all my million projects, I hope it's not like hard to keep track. Oh wait, I'm going to show how I mix these up. Let's adjust this. There we go. I'm glad you like seeing the progress. It's a little bit of white, a little bit of black, and some blue. Mix that up. So I got a show this weekend. It is tomorrow. So that means today after the stream, I gotta start gathering things, and I'm trying to make a last minute batch of ears, just 5 of them. They all need to be put on headbands. So trying to do that before tomorrow. Can't believe it, doing another show. I'm ready though. I'm excited. All right, now that I have my gray all mixed up, I'm gonna put this palette aside and going to start getting to painting. Oh, okay, so to answer the question of the little baby food jars, no, I do not have babies, but we have fur babies. And we started collecting a bunch of those jars a long time ago because one of our cats was on a baby food diet. We fed her the chicken and the ham baby food because she needed medicine for. At one time, she was taking medicine for her thyroid, and we mixed it in with the baby food. So we collected a couple, and then also too, uh, we had some old kitties. Oh my gosh, it's so hard when kitties get old. But they too started going on just a wet food diet, but they were eating the chicken protein baby food. So it was actually from our kitties. Yeah. But since I am a pack rat, sometimes I see things like that. I'm like, oh, that's a nice glass jar. I can fit something in there. And yeah, so now I reuse them for leftover tiny niblets of paint. And they are nice jars because they're small and they have that rubber seal on them. So they kind of they do keep the paint um somewhat like wet. And again, like I said, it won't keep it for very long. So I am planning on using up the white in that paint for these props because it'll go bad quickly. And when I mean bad, it'll just dry up. Yeah. I originally got the paint in the baby food jar method when I worked at this like crafting store. It was really cool. It was like they had a bunch of crafts for sale and you'd basically buy the kits. And then the shop had like a ton of like supplies like paint and brushes and everything you would ever need to make these creations. And you would sit at a table and make your little art. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun for kids' birthday parties or friend hangouts, date nights. It's a really cool little place. Um, but we went through a ton of acrylic paint, the same paint I use here. And we would put the leftovers. So once the tubes got down real low where you couldn't get any more paint, but there's still obviously paint at the bottom, we put them in those ketchup containers. They're like those little plastic where like restaurants give out for like to go ketchup or sauces. And we use those for the kids' birthday parties because a lot of the kids weren't the most dainty and they would just like squeeze out an entire tube of paint on a palette. And we're like, great, thanks. You just wasted an entire tube. Thank you, child. So we would instead give the little ketchup containers to the kids full of paint. And it's like, well, that was the leftover bottom of those tubes anyways, and it worked out a lot better. And instead the kids could either just directly dip their brushes in the paint. If it got dirty, we'll just toss it, or scoop the top off and then it'd be clean. Depends on how gremlin like the children were. Or they could just scoop it out and put it on their paint palette, whichever. But it worked out really, really well for kids' birthday parties. See, sometimes it just takes a little creativity to solve simple problems. So, oh, sorry. There's Miss Mo. I don't know if you guys can hear Miss Mo. She's such a good puppy. So, how is everyone doing today? Does anyone have any plans for this weekend? Any fun plans? I mean, you guys all know my plans. I'm actually doing a show, so that's my plans. Yep, that's how it goes. Still gotta figure out a cosplay. I think I'm gonna bring Amity from Owl House. I think that's what I'm gonna... Which cosplay I'll bring. I think she'll be good. Almost done. And as you can see, it's pretty still transparent. It's not as solid as the other ones, but remember, I'm going to add in a second layer. And also too, if I miss any spots, I can easily touch them up. I just realized I was like ever so slightly out of frame this entire time. I am so sorry. All right. So there we go. First layer done on the bottom. Gotta put that aside, and I gotta mix more paint. Get some white, get some black, and some blue. And I was comparing the blue to that one that I made, and I don't think I got the gray blue enough. And it's okay for the first layer. Like, I'm gonna add even more. And then I think need a bit more black. Yeah, yesterday I was kind of going through these. I have so many of these tubes, and some of them are like at the very tail end niblets. So I was like, okay, what can I kind of put into baby food jars? So what am I gonna also use right away? And I'm just adding little bits at a time as I mix, making sure I get the right color. There we go, I'm happy with that. And going to pull the top forward. Where's the best place? Right here. So for today's goal, I actually want to finish painting at least the one of these booms. I don't expect myself to get to the oil wash or the painted details, but I'm hoping to get all the base colors and the metallics on. That's kind of my goal. Well, hello, Win. Welcome back. Oh, Win, are you working on your painting that your brother commissioned you? If you want to, you can paint alongside me. Get out that canvas. Start working on the commission. Trying to catch up on years missed sleep blood? Oh my gosh. Not just blood, not just days of sleep, but years of sleep. Wow. Well, I hope that you're able to get the sleep you need this weekend. I think when these props really transform is not when I just put the metallic on there, because you'll see it'll be really shiny, but once I have the oil wash, it's super cool. There are some seams in here that I really like covered up with the plumbing putty really well, that I was happy, and then there's some seams in here that I'm like, I could have done better. But something why I like these Jinx Booms is because I feel like if they are a little rough, it makes them better. It makes them more interesting, more detailed. I kind of like that these are not exactly perfect. I feel like she's one of the few characters that you can be really messy and not perfect with, and somehow it makes it even better. Oh, nice! Nice win that you're working with your mom, doing a wallpaper project. That's awesome. Good, I'm glad to hear that you're helping your mom out. And Win, tell your mom I say hello. She's always so sweet. Hey, and it's Isaac. Hi, Isaac. How you doing? Sorry, Isaac, it took me a minute to say hello um, in the quick read. So sometimes I get used to the way that the color and the length of name. And so your length is very similar to Wynn's. And you're also both green today. So me looking over, I was thought it was more like Wynn's commentary. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, it's not. That wasn't Wynn. That was Isaac. Hello. The only reason why I share that is because I think it's funny how sometimes my brain interprets things. I'm like, oh, derpy derp derp derp. But anyway, Isaac, how are you doing? Yeah, well, I hope when that the wallpaper project goes good today and it goes smoothly, no complications. I know sometimes with projects like that, sometimes they can go super smooth and sometimes there can be like complications. I think that's with any creation when you're making anything. It doesn't matter what medium you're working with, what materials. But no, hopefully it all goes good. good. I'm glad you're doing good, Isaac. Glad to hear. I know, I saw your post that on the Discord that there is an Overwatch cat character now who is super adorable. Isaac, I have a feeling that you're going to want to play this cat character when he comes out. There we go. Almost done. Almost done with the gray on here, and then I can go on the gray of the second layer on the bottom half. There we go. Hey, it's Nacho! Hi, Nacho. How you doing? Nice. All right. That's awesome, Isaac. The cat is adorable. She's so cute. Hello, Mr. Nacho. So, Nacho, how's your day going? I know you're working right now, so how's work going? So this tiny brush here helps me get like in the little nooks and crannies. Little tiny things. And the smaller details, the teeny details. Yeah, that would be fun. Hey, you know the I think that would be fun, Isaac. You know the voice channels in my server are always open. If anyone wants to hang out in there at any time, you totally can. I don't mind. As long as everyone's nice, that's all I care about. That's my one rule, just be nice. But everyone here is lovely, so I'm not concerned at all. Alrighty, so now that just getting the little teeny pieces all painted. There we go. Alright, first layer. First layer done for the top. And I'm gonna have to remix some more paint for the second layer, which that'll be okay. Seems like about every layer I mix a new like batch of color. Seems to be the common thing. And you know what? I don't like personally when I'm painting and I have to like cross over my hands. So I'm actually gonna move my palette to this side. There we go. There we are. Just add some white and some black and some blue and mix. Mix, 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 mix. Mix, 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 mix. And then I think it definitely needs to be darker and more blue. There we are. It's looking a little light in color, so I'm gonna add some more black. And a little bit more. There we go. All right. I think that looks pretty good. And is it too much in the viewpoint of the camera here? No, it is not. It's still good. And I want to make sure it's still... Yeah, there we go. I'm glad you find a win that the brush ASMR. I'm glad that you find the paint mixing calming. Oh, absolutely, Isaac. I would definitely go to a mythical amusement park. Absolutely. Not even a question. I'd be there on opening day with my fairy wings. Yeah, and when you're down to go to the mythical amusement park, heck yeah. We'll all go. We'll all go together. Yeah, so this gray is slightly darker, like by a shade, than what I put on for the first layer, and I like this color a lot more. All right. So there we go. And I just keep going. keep painting, keep going. There we are. Yeah, it's already looking so much better already, just even with the second layer. It's so funny, as I was trying to find, like the, silver paint, I ended up finding some cosplay props I primed forever ago and just never got around to painting them. So I think I'll do that sometime soon. I think that might be interesting. All right, so there we go. Solidly the second layer. And yeah. I agree with you, Win. I think the closest thing to a mythical amusement park is like the Ren Fair. Oh, shoot. I almost dropped it. And I got paint all over my hands. Oh well. Yeah, it's part of being an artist. Alright, I actually mixed a lot of gray when I made this batch, so I'm just gonna go right in for this one. Continue this second layer. Fortunately, acrylic paint dries really quickly. Here we are. Yay! Yeah, I'm really, really liking how these are turning out. And hopefully today, so yes, I did explain, I think on this my last stream, that when I went to go prime these, I completely forgot the teeth of the booms. So hopefully today I can get to that. That'd be really awesome if I could finish priming them. And then I'm hoping that packing up for the show this weekend won't take too long. It's a small booth, so I shouldn't need too much stuff. But I swear, before every show, I'm always like so afraid that I'm gonna forget something. But you know what? At least this one's local, so if I forget anything, I can just go home and get it. Alrighty, there we are. Second layer. Yay! Yeah, Win! You should definitely go to Gambate. For sure. You should go. It's fun. It's gonna be fun. And it's just a one-day mini-con, so it should be like super chill and really cute. Alright, so done cleaning off my brushes. Now, to move on, it'll be the bronze. This is our, it's not bronze, it's copper. It's like this coppery kind of color that goes along here. I'm gonna show you what colors I use. And again, normally a lot of people would think you just go in right with this copper metallic, but it's so transparent, like the silver, that it'll leave streaks, it'll get glumpy, it will be transparent and then solid. It just does not look good. So instead, I gotta do a base layer of copper. And how to make copper is, again, a bit of white, always starting with a base of white. Because like oil paints, a lot of acrylics are transparent, especially that we'll be using yellow. I'm gonna actually get quite a bit of white here. Make sure that it seals right. All right. Otherwise, that'll be very bad if it doesn't seal very good. Ooh. Now that would be very, very cool, Isaac. I've seen people do weddings before that are like fairy themed, and they ask all the guests to like wear fairy outfits and elf ears and that kind of stuff. And it looks so cool, the whole aesthetic. All right, so to make our copper, I already put a little white here. I'm also going to add a bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of permanent yellow. All right, and then I want to make sure that this is in here. Getting a bit of my white, and then the yellow, and the burnt sienna to make our copper color. Looking a little too light, so I'm gonna add in more copper, more burnt sienna. Looking a little too more burnt sienna, so I'm gonna add some yellow. There we go. A little bit more yellow. And I would say, yeah. As you can see, I kind of just keep adding colors, going back and forth until I get something that I like. And I still think it needs a bit more yellow. All right, I think that's a good base of copper. I really like it. And I'm gonna just wash my brush. Isaac, I think you are ready for an adventure. Isaac, I think you would like the Ren Fair. You should see if there's one near your town and what time of year it pops up at, because I think you would thoroughly love it and enjoy. Why is this not sitting fully flat? What's going on? There we go. All right, so I'm bringing back the top forward. I'm gonna adjust myself. And I'm taking a slightly smaller brush. And I'm going to paint all the copper details. And yes, it's going to be a bit transparent, but that's why I do 2 layers. And I have to be careful because I don't want to get any of this copper color on the gray. Otherwise, I would have to go back and touch it up. Can you guys see it okay? Or do I have to move over even more? Because I can't scooch myself. I'm gonna scooch it over a little bit. I don't know if it's exactly in frame like it should be. Scooch. Did I do that? Did I touch that? Whoops. Of course I did. I accidentally touched some of the copper color on the gray just as I was saying. Be careful not to do that. Oh well, always happens, right? Alright, yeah, I think this is a better viewpoint for you guys. Better point of view. True, Evolea. There are different types of adventure. I don't know which kind of adventure do you prefer, Evolea? Do you like the more relaxing one or the one where you're constantly in front of danger, but it's very exciting? See, for me, I like the relaxing type of adventure. I like watching the exciting adventure and reading about the exciting adventures, but what I like to live myself, I like to live the relaxing kind. Oh, did I? I don't even notice. Did I turn into a southern fairy? When I don't even notice when I change accents. I just am who I am. You prefer relaxing too, Evil Leia? I don't blame you. Alright, so this is almost like the where I don't breathe moments. There's like a hair or something here that doesn't want to give. Okay, it left. It has disappeared. I got it out. So the ear fluff from the ears don't only exist on my oil paintings, they also exist on the props. The fur just gets everywhere. People complain so much about glitter, but you know what's even more annoying than the glitter? Which I actually don't get annoyed by glitter. I love glitter all over me. Like, yes, sprinkle it everywhere. But what gets me is the fur that's everywhere. Yep. There we are. So yeah, I know it's a much more slow process than the gray. But that's how it goes, right? Tiny brushwork means slow work. More time consuming and tedious. But hey, that's why these props take time, right? That's why they take time. When you wonder why did that cosplay take so many hours to complete? This is why. Because of the little details. Oh my gosh. But I'm super excited. Just wait until the metallic is on here. Just wait. And I'm kind of getting a little messy around here on accident. But I'm going to go back with some gray and touch up any areas that I touched with this like copper color I wasn't supposed to. Glitter bomb. Yep. I don't know. I like glitter. Maybe it's because I'm biased and because I'm a fairy and I like sparkly things and I like fairy dust. So. Oh, good question, Isaac. In a mythical universe, which kingdom would you live in? I would live in the fairy kingdom. We all know this. The fairy kingdom it is. And when you would live with gnomes, I could see that. I could definitely see that. You know, yeah, I would like the fairies, or I like also the peacefulness of hobbits. Isaac, you'd live in an orc kingdom? Oh man. You know, I could see that. I'm surprised, Isaac, you did not say a dragon kingdom. Just going around the edges here. This is definitely the most tricky part. For sure. Painting on 3D objects is completely different than painting on 2D. I'm glad, Isaac, that you like the idea of the Dragon Kingdom. I could see that. I could see you liking that one too. Just as much as your orcs. Yeah, they're like your niece and nephew. They're like little hobbits. That's cute when. That's really sweet. Hey, sometimes you gotta run around outside barefoot. You wanna feel the ground beneath your feet. Almost done. Almost done with this copper detail. There we go. Oh wait, I almost forgot something. I almost forgot the speaker. The speaker is also copper. Derpity derp. Derp derp derp. And then as this first layer dries, I'll go around and I'll also fix little things too, anywhere where I accidentally touched with copper where I wasn't supposed to. Sorry, that was completely out of frame. I didn't know how to position it with being in frame. I was like, I'll be quick. Just trying to get around all these edges. I think it's the small details that are definitely the most tricky. It's like, how do I get around all these teeny tiny details? Alrighty, there we go. Ah, copper. Done. Alright, so now going back in with the gray to do little touch-ups. And they're ever so slightly. I'm just being a perfectionist about it. Almost when this like copper color mixes in with the gray, it almost looks like rust. All rusty. There we go. Okay, I don't think I have anywhere else that really needs touch ups. I'll probably see it later and then go back. That always happens. I always see things way later. Okay. There we go. Yes. So yeah, there is certain types of fairies that are allergic to iron. They actually iron burns them. But yeah, no, that is part of fairy lore. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's in the nose fairies, since they're burned by iron, their blood is actually white. Because there is no iron in their blood either, because it would burn them from the inside. So they have white blood instead. Yeah, there's some little fairy lore to you. All right. With the copper, I'm gonna just let this dry, and before I put on the second layer, because there's still some parts that are like still pretty wet, put that aside, and I'm going to start with the very exciting part of adding the silver. So these teeth I already painted from the last stream, as some of you probably remember. And now I'm gonna just go in with the metallic and paint on top. Oh, can you see it good? All right, now you can see it good. See it, look how shiny it is. Shiny. Yeah, I'll be all good. No worries about me. Or can I touch it without smudging? It's always the trick with 3D objects and painting them. How can I paint them without smudging other parts of them? Alrighty, there we go. See, now it's super shiny. It's starting to look like metal, right? Yeah, here's a little side by side before and after. And yeah, so now I'll just put this aside. And the copper still looks a little wet, so we're gonna just continue here. Yep, good. You are right, Win. Good point. This is, at least it's just foam. There we go. Aw, thank you, Win. Thank you. Yeah, these little booms are turning out pretty good. So now you all see the difference between painting metallics just right as the first layer versus doing like a base of a non-metallic, of a matte color. And then metallics on top. Always a good rule of thumb. And yeah, I can see brush strokes, but that's what I'm going for. If you don't want to see brush strokes, do the metallic in an airbrush. That's how you get it, so it doesn't have, so. But I wanted that illustrative type feel. So that's why I'm okay with having brush strokes. But if I wanted more of a realistic kind of look, I would have done an airbrush. Alright, I'm gonna wash. Alright, and now I'm gonna go back to second layer of copper because it is now dry. I'm gonna add a bit of water to this. It's kind of drying out a little bit. I think I accidentally made it too watery, so it's not looking, it's still not solid looking. I'm gonna mix on the palette some of the edges and bring them to the middle. Try to regather some of the paint here. Mix it up. There we go. Now it's more of a better consistency. There we go. Yep. Now it's starting to look more solid. Am I still in frame? I'm still in frame. Cool. Sorry, I kind of got lost concentrating on this piece and kind of just fell into like a peaceful zone. Sometimes I get into these where I just like zone out as I'm working. Yeah, not very like super hyper focused, but just more I don't know, zoning out peacefully. There we go. Almost done with the copper. And then when we're done, I can move on to more metallics. Yeah, this thing right here, the most trickiest part to paint is on the underneath. But everything gotta be solid, so. And that's the thing when also painting 3D object is there's no hiding. There's no hiding of don't look at it from this angle. No, you want to be able to have it presentable from all sides. And it to look good from all sides. In a way, it's all a lot like working with sculpture. It is a sculpture, technically. There we go. And you know what? This like super watery, because I added too much water and it didn't take very well as the second layer. I'm gonna just retouch that up because I noticed that it's kind of dry. It's not probably not fully dry, but it's like a tacky, but I can just touch it up. Seems to be taking well. I remember when I first made these out of foam, and I was starting to, a lot of people were messaging me, you know, you can just have someone 3D print them for you, and it'd be a lot easier. So many messages, and I'm like, guys, I have a vision. It's not about making something quick or doing something easy. It's about being like creating something and like, you know, I have a vision, I have a passion. These are art pieces. It's not that I just want the cosplay. It's that I want to create the cosplay. And it was funny because no one really saw my vision online. I'm talking about online until they were completed. And then everyone was like, whoa. Changed everyone's mind. Like, see, there you go. Sometimes you just gotta prove yourself. And if you got a vision for something, ignore what other people say. Just go for your vision. All right, there we are. Copper is now officially done. Well, the solid base is. It still needs the metallic on top, but we're gonna let that dry first. I know, right? The joy of acrylic painting. All right, so as this dries, I'll put it aside, and I'm gonna bring this bottom half back. Some more of the silver. And then just going right in with the silver. And with my brush strokes, as you notice, I'm going in the same direction. Since you do see brush strokes, I kind of want, they're a lot like when I'm painting on canvas. You know, I don't want it to be like, oh, zigzag and that kind of stuff. Unless if you're going for that style. But be intentional. But for something like this, I kind of want all the brush strokes to be somewhat going the same direction. I want it to be, I'm going for consistency. And yes, even though Jinx is a bit of a mess, and these booms are a bit of a mess, and that's what makes them so fantastic, still be intentional and still have finesse. There is still intention with every little detail, every brush stroke. There's a lot of intention. Like a lot of my work. Yep. It almost looks very chrome. Like very cheesy alien. Or cheesy astronaut. You know, if you were going for like a chrome alien kind of thing, I would recommend doing this and just leaving the silver shiny. Obviously, we're not going to leave the silver shiny. I'm going to do an oil wash on top, which I don't think I'll get to that for today's stream, but I'll save these and pick up where we left off and show you how I do an oil wash. Because that's fun. And super easy too. When I first started doing an oil wash, like on my pieces, I saw one pro cosplayer do it on her. She was like making like a skull helmet, and it looked really cool. And I was like, I want to try that. And I tried it. The first prop that I did was the shells that are on Jinx's hair. And I was like, are you serious? This is it? This is like, you get this dramatic of a look. And by just wiping some oil paint on it. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So, yep. I like that technique a lot. One of my favorites. Hello. Hello. I'm sorry if it took me a while to see that you're here. Mythical X. Hello, and I see that there is a raiders, so I'm guessing that there's multiple people. Well, hello, welcome. Yeah, just working on some cosplay today, making some props for a Jinx cosplay from Arcane, and right now just adding on the metallic paint, making them shiny. Yeah. And it's just, I'm just chilling, just painting. If you want to also like paint alongside me, if you're also like an artist and creative and you want to work too, you totally are welcome to. I welcome this as a creative space. Or if you just want to enjoy and hang out, you're more than welcome to as well. Oh yeah. Thank you, Mythical X. I hope you're doing well as well. Sound like a really weird sentence. But yeah. I know the focus is real, especially with me. I'll get into the zone and yeah, everyone knows here that becomes very normal. Sometimes they'll say something and it'll take me a minute to see my chat because I get so like locked in, and I'm like, wait, there's a chat. So just pre-warning ya. I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm just focused and hypnotized. English is weird. I agree with you, Mythical X. It is very, very weird. Anyone that like English is your second language, I get so many people that I'm like that tell me, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry if English is their second language," and I'm like, "Listen, it's a hard language. It's a weird language. Uh, when you think you're speaking bad, you're actually probably just fine." Because there is even me where I'm like, it's okay. Bleh. That's why there's grammar memes. where we make fun of the grammar and have on purpose bad grammar because it's funny. All right. Look how shiny this is. Really, really shiny. It's like chrome. It's like when you polish up silver after it's been tarnished for a long time, and then you're like, wow, I forgot how shiny that silver was. All right. What is this? Yeah. Thank you, Mythical X. Yeah, I love what I do. That I do. I thoroughly enjoy creating things, making art. Oh, yeah. All right, so there we go, shiny. Since you guys just popped in, I'll show you the teeth. Nom, nom, nom. All right, and then now I'm gonna go back to the top here and just gonna do the same thing. I have silver and I have copper. Since we've been kind of playing a lot with the silver, and the silver is now used up on my palette, why not move on to the copper? Because I believe the copper on here is dry. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's dry. So. Aw, thank you, Mythical X, for the follow. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. I'm always creating stuff, always making new things. I do painting and cosplay, and it's almost like I like to keep it somewhat unpredictable here, you know? Never know what to quite expect. So it keeps things interesting. I totally forgot to paint these little bolts on the side. I'm so sorry. So I'm like taking a little sudden I don't know what to call this. I was gonna have a joke, but then I didn't plan out my joke very well. Side mission. Call it a side mission of painting this little bolt before going on to the metallic copper. Tiny brushwork. Super tiny brushwork. There we go. Alright. Well, that can dry. And at least I'm not working with any... I'm moving on to the copper instead of the silver. So, added a bit of this copper metallic paint to my palette. And I'm just gonna go right here and start painting. Oh, okay. If you prefer mythical, I will go with mythical. Absolutely. Well, welcome, welcome. Yeah, you're all good. So, mythical, are you also a fellow artist or creative? Is there any kind of like creative things you all like to do, or do you just enjoy seeing other people's creation, more of like admire. I like to hear about other people's creative mediums. That's why I like to ask. And I just find any kind of like whenever someone makes anything, whatever art medium it might be, just absolutely fascinating. I think that's why I like working with mixed mediums and why I have so many passions. And why I can't just find one creative passion. And I know this copper here is very bright, very in your face, but I swear once I also do an oil wash on this, it's gonna be really, it'll be more gritty. I wanna make sure I'm not. And also too, what's cool about these metallics is the more layers you add, the shinier they become. So with these ones, since I do want it to look like metal and metallic, but I don't want them necessarily shiny because they're going to be gritty, I'm only going to do one layer of metallic. But if you were doing something that maybe is ethereal or futuristic, I'd recommend doing multiple layers of metallic to get that really shiny. Aw, all right. That's nice. That's awesome. You know, Mythical, if you were inspired to like honestly with art as like it's a skill that you just keep working at. So if you have the passion and the desire to want to be an artist, it's really just a lot of practice. But that's good to hear that you appreciate and you like to see people creating. I like that too. And I'm happy that you're here. Oh, thank you, Win. Thank you for posting the Discord. Or, yeah, the Discord worked. There you go. Very cool, Mythical. Very cool. Hey, sometimes those painting. Oh, hold on. I want to make sure I'm reading this right. Sometimes I quick read things and that's not fully right. And an art book. So I'm guessing a painting book is that those types of books where they suggest you paint this or that, like it'll kind of give you a painting a day or designing logos. That'd be fun. The only logo I ever designed was my own. And do I paint often? Yes. Or paint often. Do I stream often? I do. I stream 3 times a week, uh, fairly regularly. So my normal schedule is Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's when I stream. Um, Sometimes, because I do a lot of art shows, the Fridays will be canceled because either I'm setting up or I am or the con will be on Friday. But Tuesdays and Wednesdays are pretty solid. The only reason why I'm like, I have a show this weekend, and the only reason why I'm able to stream today is because I was like, I'm actually this show is pretty gonna be small and very chill, so I'm like not super stressed out about gathering stuff. I'm like, I have the whole rest of the day to gather things and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are my normal days. Yeah, mythical. If you're on Discord, I have a Discord server and I always post when I'm about to go live there, and it's a really chill space where other artists share their work and I show my progress as well, and sometimes behind the scenes if I remember to post. But yeah, it's just a chill, fun space to hang out. Actually, I'm getting completely lost in this piece. Loss is a good thing. Like, I am just kind of in the zone. I forget to look at my time. I don't even know what time it is right now. Oh, we're good. We are good. I'll be able to probably finish the metallics before I gotta go. How can I position this here? There we go. So I'm actually balancing it on the key ring so it's not touching any the nothing wet is touching any of the surfaces. There we are. And this also reminds me, I have to find things to make it rattle inside. Yes, so these little props, I actually make them rattle since they're hollow by finding an Easter egg and then filling the Easter egg with some beads. And that I got to go hunt for. Because I try to find things like around the house or stuff like that because no one's going to see it. So I'm like, what can I use that I already have? Ooh, shiny. Pretty, pretty, shiny, shiny. I don't know if anyone knows where that quote is from. Not sure. It's okay, it's from a show from a long time ago. Hey, that's okay. That's all right, Mythical. No worries and no pressure. You're all good. You're all good. It's just the door is open. But if you're like, meh, nah, I'll see you on the streams. I'll see you here then. All is good. Yeah, no pressure to anyone either. Like, not at all. Never. Eee, there we go. All right. Oh, I forgot a spot. I missed a spot right here. Oh no. As of course it's when I go to wash my brush, right? It's when it always happens. There we go. All right, now the copper is done. Move on to the shiny silver. More shiny silver. And gonna go in with my brush, and I'm gonna use a mixture of two brushes. I'm gonna use this larger brush, and then I'm gonna go in smaller areas with this smaller brush. So it's gonna be a bit of a mix, depending on the area. There we go. Just the start. There we go. And just being careful around the copper, especially that it's still kind of wet and I don't want it to smudge. So I'm just being kind of extra careful. Yep, and then just, there we are. So I'm probably going to finish up this silver here, and then I'll call it a stream. Yeah, I actually do really like making these guys a lot. Yes, they are tedious and time consuming and a lot of pieces, but I enjoy it actually. I think that they're really fun to make. Frustrating at times, sure, but overall really fun. And I kind of want to make more before the season's done, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I have 5 here, I'm like, the Jinx side of me is like, I want to make more. I should cosplay Jinx and make one of these on stream. That would be funny. Maybe I'll save one. Maybe I'll save one and I'll actually bring Jinx out and paint it. That'd be funny. Might be entertaining. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've like cosplayed and streamed at the same time. I think what the last time was Christmas. When I streamed on Christmas Eve. That was fun. All right, Win. I will keep it aside. The clove one. Gotta keep track of which one it is because it's like the tiniest little puncture hole. Well, I already have 3 of these, and yes, my dream at one time was to have my prop wall, like a few hanging off my prop wall. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening to the one that was signed by Clove. And for any of you watching and you don't know who Clove is and you're like, who are they talking about? That's my cat. And every once in a while, she actually comes in on the stream and causes chaos. Very silly chaos. She likes to hop up here. She likes to bite at paintbrushes. She likes to swipe at my monitor. She actually watches the streams, which I think is really funny. So I'll bring her back one of these streams. I just didn't want her to be in the room with me when making these props because if she punctures any more holes in them, I don't know how I could like fix it. One is fine, but I don't know. And it's such a tiny little tooth mark. There we are. Shiny. Super shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Thank you, Mythical. Thank you. Alright, and then I actually need just a tiny bit more silver because there are smaller details, like holding the clip up here needs to still be painted. Yep. Seems to see it. There you go. I swear, I'll get used to painting 3D objects here on and keeping it in the viewpoint of the camera. I'll get used to it. You know, it's funny. I didn't realize actually how much I move around when painting, like, when you're just painting 2D. It's like the canvas stays, even though I discovered that I move it around a lot. I didn't realize how much I moved around until I started streaming. Till I'm like, wait, there's a camera I have to worry about. All right, and now the little bolts here. These cute, adorable bolts that were super tiny that I kept losing when gluing them on. Like, where did it go? That was another trick. There's a lot of tiny pieces to this build. And not losing any of them. Yeah, it's a challenge. All right, there we go. Oh, nope, not quite. I forgot in between the speaker. Still gotta paint that. Oh, thank you, Win. Thank you. How can I? I try my best. I tried my best to put as much heart into my pieces as possible. You know, I put a lot of care and time and intention and a lot of love into each of my creations. And I'm just gonna cover the bottom with silver. All right, there we go. The top half has been done being painted. Now it's all metallic. There we go. The only reason why I don't bend this down is because I still want it to like dry, and I'll have to paint it anyway, and I don't want to overbend the metal, even though it should be just fine. It's the same metal that I use for my ears, the cosplay ears. But yeah, there we go. The first little Jinx Boom out of the collection of 5 that I have right here. See, I have even more that need to be painted. Yeah, in perfect timing too. I know, I'm sorry when it's already 12. I know. Tears. Tears. I know it's right. It's metal foam. Metal foam. It sounds like a weird superhero name. Aw, thank you, Mythical X. Thank you. Alrighty. So here we are. Yeah, I actually reached my goal of wanting to get the like base of this painted. And for my next stream, I will save this to do the oil wash on, which will be on Tuesday. And I'll show you how to do that and add in paint details and that kind of stuff. So, well, actually, I probably won't get to those until the oil wash is dry. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really happy how this is turning out. Thank you everyone for joining. It was really fun hanging out with everyone, and I will see you all Tuesday. This was awesome. This was fun. Alrighty, until next time. Aw, thank you, Win. And I hope you also have a wonderful day. I hope everyone has an awesome weekend. And I'll see you next week, Tuesday, where I'll continue working on these props. Alrighty, bye!